is Tchize Matias, your host. Today I'm gonna do some demo to just show you how I've been using ChatGPT to help me do some automation in DevOps. On this specific demo, I'm gonna show you how I did create some automation to make some stuff happen faster at the environment I work in some clients. So for this one in specific, I wanted Ansible to help me. I want ChatGPT. Sorry. I want ChatGPT to help me do some automation and improve some of my code in Ansible. And here I did. So the first prompt was like, "Hey Chat, create a Linux OS system resource checks using Ansible Plays." And I said, write in English because I do write. I'm bilanguage, so I speak English and Portuguese. So sometimes to get stuff on ChatGPT in Portuguese, sometimes I get in English. So this is the response. So basically, this is the code. So it's gonna do a performance system resource checks, and then it's gonna do CPU usage using a Ansible built-in shell. And then it's gonna do the same thing for memory, disk, and network. And then it has a little script and it does a combination and it aggregates the whole variables that is stored and checks and stored. And then it gives me this nice that it comes up on the console while I'm running this playbook. So then he instruct me to save the code with a name he suggests, and that is the playbook run like this to check if everything is running. So of course you need to have Ansible installed on your machine to test locally and see if the script works. You just need to copy this and paste. Of course you need to make sure that this file is according to the name that you have stored on your computer. Okay, and then he explained me that this playbook will connect all hosts and all hosts specified on your Ansible inventory and gather system resources information. Make sure to replace all with your target host group or individual host names in playbook if necessary. Then I wanted to change some bits and bobs on the previous script on this one, so I did need another prompt, and I said, "I change enhance the above Ansible code, change and enhance the above Ansible code, adding conditional checks for Linux distros Red Hat, Debian, please." So because I know that I am aware that there are some specifications depending on a distro you're using. So if your distro is a Red Hat, it's gonna differ in some bits and bobs from Debian, so like Ubuntu. So I need my script, or the script that ChatGPT is helping me to create, to be able to check whether the machine we're about to run a playbook is either a Red Hat or is a Debian distribution like Linux or CentOS or Fedora. So what Chat came up with was like he created a pre-check. What it does is check Linux distro, Ansible built-in setup, filter Ansible distribution. So it is not nothing so complex. Basically, you just add this bit that it wasn't on the above one. So you can see just got the facts, holes, and here he actually does this task. He aggregate this new task, because before it was just check CPU usage, but now it does check Linux distro and then does Ansible built-in setup, and the filter is Ansible underscore distribution, which he actually tried to gather, and then when it actually start doing these checks, he runs each check depending on what kind of distro it has. So if you can see, the command it does executes on Red Hat is completely different. Yeah, it's completely different than the command it executes on a Debian distro. So it actually does, based on what it gathers from the Ansible distribution, it then compares and assign it a different command, whether it is a Red Hat distribution or is a Debian flavor distribution. But in order, only at the CPU checkup level, I don't think it does anywhere else. But actually here you can bit by bit improve your code with the help of ChatGPT as you go. Then you can of course pick up your code and experiment it with it on your machine against a VM. You can build up a VM on Red Hat or Fedora on your machine and test it with it. So then he output me saying that he updated my playbook. We use setup module to gather facts about Linux distribution. We use condition statements when to execute different commands based on the detected distribution for Red Hat-based distribution. We use the top command with a specific seed pattern to extract CPU usage, while for Debian-based distros, we use stop with different awk command to extract CPU usage. The rest of playbook remains the same, performing checks for memory, disk, and network usage as before. The playbook will now handle different Linux distributions and execute appropriate commands accordingly. So I could just stop there, but I wanted to make it even better. So I created a new prompt, adding more features in the prompt. And I said, create an Ansible playbook to check if Java is installed and how many WebSphere apps running on it. And then I say, please write in English, because of course, as I said before, I write prompts in both languages, Portuguese, English, and sometimes in Spanish. So I always need to specify what language I'm using, because I'm using another plugin on top of ChatGPT that sometimes asks me whether I want to generate the content and what language I want to push it. So after I give it that prompt, it created this new playbook. As I said, and below is an Ansible playbook to check if Java installed and count the numbers of application runnings on IBM WebSphere application. So I'm specifically thinking about an IBM or a web-based kind of application. That's why I'm trying to write this to figure out whether I want to have it checked that way. And then this is the way it runs. Of course, for this one, I'm not gonna show the whole playbook, because this is something I'm writing on one of my apps, so it's gonna be blurred. So, and then that here he explained as well what should I expect, and then he give me instructions how can I test this playbook to make sure that it's outputting exactly what I'm expecting to get. So, and I continue trying to, my goal was to make this playbook as complete as possible. So my next stage was to add another feature, which to pick up the whatever it was stopped, then to add the feature to check the file system for system storage, to check whether any directory was used in a certain percentage, and if it does, I was supposed to delete or remove the files, be it on a file log, be it on any other directory where the storage fills up faster. My idea is to have one of the functionalities of this playbook is to check the storage and figure out whether that the storage was going above the threshold, and when it does, it's supposed to move these files to a network file storage, or delete it if it's not necessary, data necessary, if we can make it redundant, like for instance the logs from a non-critical environment. So then that the way he does, and then he checked the file storage, and he does some runs a check the storage on each mounting point, and then it displays on the output, and then it runs a regex, and we display it to then present the information to me, whether my as I was saying. And then it with the rejects, it does all the checks, and it sees if the disk is at 80% or above, and it's supposed to either move the data into a NAS, a network file system storage outside of my server, or it deletes if my server is not redundant. And I keep on building, adding more things, so I can experiment and say, rather than check if it's 80% or more, I want to see if there is more than 79% on the disk space, just to check if really the script is working the way I was expecting. And that's what ChatGPT created, and I said that's the prompt. Enhance this above playbook code, because like when you start building things, when you start building stuff with ChatGPT, after you're running a one or two prompts, it keeps the information that it generates above on the session you are. And if you ask questions related to the preview prompts you created, you add up like building on top of what you already created. That's why I said here, enhance this above playbook code by adding a check loop, and to stop the playbook run if a directory is using more than 79% space on a disk place. So I started by creating a check that will run a playbook consulting FS tab, and if any mounted point is the directory is using more than 80% of file storage, to close that directory. Then I did okay, let's see if I can actually make sure that I can, in case of I find something that is actually true on my conditional, to instead of delete it, the playbook should stop and report back to me that there is something there that's using more than 79%. So I have the opportunity to go there and fix the issue by myself, because I might accidentally delete critical data, because Ansible is not clever enough to know what is critical, what is redundant. So that's the way, as I'm just playing a safekeeper to make sure that I don't delete anything by accident. So nice. I go there manually. If it does find anything using more than 79%, it should stop and prompt back to me. Okay, and then he writes it all down. So with all the conditions I did and consulting the FS tab, so you extract mounting points and write back from FS tab, and then he does a check storage usage for each mounting point, and then he display the mounting points with a high storage usage if he finds something, and then he stop running this playbook if any of the mounting point storage space is using more than 79% on the disk. And exactly that's what it's supposed to do, and that's what I did on the prompt. And I continue and until I build something very complex using ChatGPT and doing some corrections offline, of course, because ChatGPT, what it does, it doesn't actually build the whole thing to me, but it helped me in a very massive extent to create the skeleton of what I want to build, and that way I can pretty much accelerate tenfold the amount of time, I can accelerate tenfold the execution of my project and reduce extendedly the amount of time I can take to execute something that probably before, if it was all by myself or a team of people, I could take a week or a month to do it. With something like an AI, I can shrink that period of time into a very much of a day or hours. I hope I add value. I hope I brought something. Of course, it's not new, everyone. A lot of people already know about ChatGPT. ChatGPT. I just brought my own testimony and show how I use this tool on my own day to day, on a daily basis. So basically, now I just would like to say thank you for everyone that came to watch this video. I really appreciate all feedback, and if you not subscribe, please subscribe to this channel, leave your comment, and share with your network. Leave your suggestions if you want to see other stuff. Thank you very much, and see you on the next one. See ya.